The GameCube, a console of a lifetime. You can love it or hate it, but come on, you have to admit, the GameCube is an amazing console. I know you're probably thinking, well, isn't the GameCube one of Nintendo's flops? Isn't it one of Nintendo's worst selling consoles? And while you might be correct, never mind, I have nothing to back that. But the main thing, the GameCube, in my opinion, is one of the best consoles out there. First off, it has some of the best Nintendo games like Animal Crossing, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, can you not that one, and Luigi's Mansion. The Wii isn't even that much more powerful than the GameCube. The GameCube was Nintendo's big leap into performance, being more powerful than its main competitor at the time, the PS2. Now, it didn't sell as well as the PS2 because, as you can see, that's a pretty big damn difference in sales, and the Dreamcast wasn't even in the picture really. The controller for the GameCube was also very nice to hold, almost the perfect controller. The only nitpick I have with it is, of course, the yellow Joy-Con. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you all about the GameCube and why it's such a fun console. Don't expect top tier editing though. I'm not that good yet.
Japan, September 14th, 2001.
The GameCube, released for everyone to get their disgusting little hands on, except every other country out there. No, sorry, just Japan. Originally codenamed Dolphin, I don't know why it was, this shit doesn't look like a dolphin at all. Main production originally started around 1998 with a company named ArtX, but only 2 years later, ArtX would become defunct, so that's cool. Nintendo really wanted this console to do everything, and since the PlayStation was really popular, Nintendo finally decided to switch to disc, or smaller discs. They didn't want to use the same discs the other company used because, Nintendo has to be quirky. Right after the Nintendo 64 was released, the plans for making another console were already in motion. I know it sounds like I'm talking a lot of shit for a video supposed to be praising the GameCube, but don't worry, good things will be heard soon, but please keep watching. I think the GameCube is really smart because A, it's a cube, B, it's a cube, and C, it's a cube. You know what? I'm gonna say it. The GameCube controller is the best controller. It might only have one of these triggers on the back. It might have a weird little yellow analog stick, but really, it's the perfect controller. I don't care about the PlayStation DualShock. I don't give a fuck about the Xbox controller. The GameCube controller is better than any other controller. The wireless controller for the GameCube, the Wavebird, was the first really popular wireless controller. It wasn't the first wireless controller though. That was in 1982. Supposedly, the GameCube as we know it was originally supposed to be called the Star Cube, but I'm getting this information from Reddit, so take that info with a grain of salt. People shit on the GameCube for its looks, and I know damn well some of you absolutely despise the GameCube, but I think it's a smart decision. It's a cube and it plays games, so it's called a GameCube. Again, this whole video is mainly just my opinion. Nintendo dabbled into online gaming with the GameCube, making a controller that looks like this. Disgusting fucking creature. A lot of people didn't really care about the GameCube. I mean, it was really neither here nor there back then. Only like big Nintendo fans gave a shit. Now, before we continue on about the GameCube, I gotta tell you the sponsor of this video, me. You see that subscribe button? You should totally click that and maybe even click the like button. You totally could. Possibly subscribe, possibly even subscribe to my second channel. Please? Sorry for asking so much of you, but I have to. I'm legally obligated to. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Enjoy the rest of the video. Now, more about the GameCube's later years. The console has been released, it's gotten praise and also a lot of hate. The GameCube was criticized for its looks because it looked like a toy or a lunchbox since it had a holder thingy for it. And people compare it to the Xbox or PlayStation 2, but one thing I've learned is you cannot really compare Nintendo products to Sony or Microsoft products. Because I love Nintendo with all my heart, I really do, but their consoles are always mostly going to be less powerful than the PlayStation or Xbox. When you try to run Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, it just doesn't work, man. I know I said the GameCube is mainly more powerful than the PS2, which is still true, but I feel like I had to bring that up because let's be honest, Nintendo is a less powerful system. The GameCube is the farthest thing away from the main gen consoles or PS and Xbox. The interface of the GameCube is vastly different, with it being a cube. Wow, really pushing that fact, and it's simple, nice, and kinda cool. The menu screen even has cool Easter eggs when you press random buttons or change something. Another version of the GameCube was released since people complained about the GameCube not having DVD or CD support, and this was called the Panasonic Cube, or some people call it the GameCube. It's the GameCube, but it can play DVDs, CDs, MP3s, and it even has its own remote. It's a very cool concept in my opinion, but it only sold less than 100,000 copies, mainly because it costed more, there wasn't a whole lot of marketing for it, and just generally a lot of people gravitated towards the original GameCube more. Because when you think of the GameCube, you don't think of the Panasonic Cube, you know what I mean? Also, a GameCube and a DVD player could be bought for less, so what's the fucking point? To get your hands on one is not too hard, but they are a lot of money. Now, we've been talking about the console itself, but it's called a GameCube. You know, you can't talk about the goddamn GameCube without talking about the games. To get it out of the way, Super Smash Bros. Melee was the best-selling GameCube game. I have it, it's great. In my opinion, it's the best Smash Bros. Game. Fuck off, don't deny the fact that it is. I know I quickly dabbled into the games of the console, but the games are fucking amazing. It started amazing game franchises like Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Super Monkey Ball, Chibi Robo. It had the best Mario Kart, the best Paper Mario, just the fucking best everything. Not to mention Super Metroid is on this console. Hello, that game is fucking amazing. But with amazing games comes canceled games. We could have gotten an Earthbound sequel, a 3D and 2D Kirby game. I mean, shit, we could have been in heaven. And since Microsoft bought the game company Rare, and Microsoft is a huge rival towards Nintendo, Rare could no longer make games for Nintendo, so that canceled a shitload of games as well. Also, 4 fucking Mario parties were released for this thing. 4. That is one too many. Nintendo started getting more lenient with their mature games, like releasing Resident Evil games for the GameCube and Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Luigi's Mansion was Nintendo's most sold launch game. Did I say that right? I think that's how I English that sentence. A console compatible with the GameCube is the Game Boy Advance, but you need a Game Boy player accessory and those kind of suck to get, so have fun with that. The last game released for the GameCube was Madden NFL 08. What a horrible game for it to be. I know I've brought this up before in my previous video, House FNAF in 2023. You should totally go watch that, by the way. But the new sports games are fucking stupid. It's the same game multiple times. Madden, NBA 2K, FIFA, like fuck off, man. All this shit talking is making me very hungry. So, you know, I'm gonna go make something to eat. Anyway, the GameCube is the 3rd worst selling Nintendo console of all time, but hopefully you understand a teeny tiny bit more of why I love this console, and many others do too. Overall, pretty good games. Now, at least from what I've seen, supposedly GameCube shit is being made for the Switch, just like every other old Nintendo console. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool, but damn. During the later years of GameCube, you could tell other companies were definitely beating the GameCube in performance and overall value. So in the GameCube's lifespan, Nintendo released the DS, which was revolutionary in its own right, which leads into the GameCube's final moments. Rest in penis. With it being 2007, Nintendo has already released the DS, and they announced the new console of the decade the Wii. GameCube's life was coming to an end, and about 6 years later, whenever it was released, the GameCube stopped production. It didn't sell that well, but honestly, it had a pretty good run with all the games, accessories, which we'll talk about later, and components of the GameCube. It was fucking great. People still love the GameCube, of course, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be making, you know, a video on it. One thing I haven't brought up yet, though, is that is very important, by the way, is how the GameCube was released on September 14th, 2001, 3 days after September 11th. I'm just saying. By this point as well, the Xbox 360 and PS3 were released and gaining millions in sales, so to keep production in progress for the GameCube seemed very irrelevant. And as much as I love the GameCube, consoles gotta come to an end, man. I mean, look how long the Sega Master System has been around for. This shit came out in 1986. 1986. It is 2020 fucking 4. That is 38 years. Do you know what's happened in 38 years? The United States GDP has gained more than $15 trillion. The Soviet Union collapsed. Germany became unionized. The Afghanistan war, that lasted 20 years. I mean, holy shit. This thing has outlived millions and millions of people. That is fucking insane. It's being produced in Brazil, so shout out Brazil. Thank you guys. I pray for you. Anyways, back to the GameCube. Just some interesting facts I found. Supposedly the Wiggles fucks with the GameCube, so shout out the Wiggles as well, I guess. The GameCube did go into online play with, you know, this thing, but only 8 releases were made with the intention of online playing being a used aspect. You needed an adapter, but, you know, It was close enough. Okay, we've talked about the main topics of the GameCube. What about all the damn accessories it had? The GameCube actually had a lot of accessories, probably more than you think. Hell, I didn't even know they had this many. Up first is the DK Bongo. It's probably one of the coolest ones. It was mainly made for a series of games called Donkey Konga. See, it's different because there's an A at the end of it, so it's not Donkey Kong. Very original name, guys. Very good job. I think this concept is fucking awesome. Now, I didn't have this accessory because mainly I didn't know it was a thing until like a month ago, and also I'm broke as shit. People use them for other shit though, like PC games like Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, probably a bunch of more hard games. They work on the Switch as well with an adapter for them. Another accessory is something called the Action Pad. It was made for games like Dance Dance Revolution, Mario Mix, and holy shit, I really wish I had this one. It's a pad that has 4 arrows. Okay, thank you Wikipedia. That information did me fucking wonders. No, but seriously, it's really cool even for just a cheap ass pad you step on. If I was 7 and had this, I would be shaking God's hand in heaven congratulating him. Like the Action Pad, the Beat Pad was another type of accessory for music kind of games. Basically just the Action Pad but with some more arrows. One we've kind of talked about is the ASCII keyboard controller. I love the GameCube, and I know I've said that many times, and I'm saying it again, but what the fuck, man? I get what they were going for. I see the picture, you know, but if you have a keyboard, then why do you need the GameCube's buttons on the sides? I mean, maybe it's comfortable, I wouldn't know, but that looks like it sucks to hold and play on. They just should have made a normal keyboard and mouse. I don't know, you know, it's just a thought. Ori Fighting Stick is another one that kind of looks cool, mainly used for Soul Calibur 2, and probably other games, but it looks like this would be a bit hard to work around. Don't get me wrong though, it looks pretty cool. There's other controllers like this for numerous of other platforms too, so I guess this is normal? Maybe? Not really? Now the Logitech Speed Force Racing Wheel is a controller that is essentially just a steering wheel. It's used for, can you guess it? Games that involve driving in cars. Oh my god. It's again another controller that looks pretty cool. Would love to have, will definitely have. Another one we touched briefly on was the Game Boy Player. I think this is my second favorite, and it's not a controller, just an accessory to hook up so you can play Game Boy games on the GameCube. I like it because it hooks up to the bottom of the GameCube, and it looks pretty cool. The last accessory to talk about, aka the most popular one, the GameCube microphone. It plugs into one of the GameCube's memory card slots, which is kind of weird, but I'll let that slide. Used for games like Mario Party 6 and 7, Karaoke Revolution Party, Chibi Robo, Osama. Wait, that does not say Osama. I meant to say Odama, not Osama. You want to know my opinion on this thing? No. Well, okay then. No, I think the microphone is fine. It's kind of fun, but since it was made in the early 2000s, of course it sounds like absolute shit, but hey, it's the GameCube, come on, it's alright. Okay, now the actual last one, a pedometer and a walking trackpad. No, it doesn't locate pedophiles, I know, I wish it did too, but it does track the distance you've traveled. Kind of a weird name, but I don't know why you'd name something. Okay, anyway, it was only made in Japan, but still, you know, it's kind of cool, I suppose. It was for a game called, I'm gonna butcher this, Alhenro-san Hoshin no Dojo. I probably butchered that up. Please do not cancel me. I'm sorry. Overall, some accessories are cool, some accessories are and some are what in Satan's name. There's a lot more accessories, but I don't want to talk about all of them because that's boring, so I won't. I've probably lost a ton of you at this point. I'm interested if you're still listening to me talk right now at this very moment. You know, you're sitting down in a chair on the couch. No, go on. Have a sip of that drink. I can see you. I'm in your house. Overall, the GameCube has some off things about it, but it's really just an amazing console. Now, I admit, a big reason I enjoy it so much is because of the nostalgia and the oldness of the console. It's cool to look back on old shit. Hopefully, you've liked seeing multiple clips of the same 5 games this entire video, because I know I sure haven't. Its legacy will still live on. It started a great series and was released during a great time. Production for it was like right in the middle of 9/11 and the 2008 stock market crash, so aren't we lucky? You can still get GameCube adapters and hook up a controller to your Switch, computer, anything really. The Wii has support for the disc still, except any other Wii but the original Wii, so if you have a mini Wii, you're fucked. But if you do have a mini Wii, why the fuck do you even have one? Main thing, GameCube, good. If you want any other videos about specific consoles or something, you know, just let me know and I'll see what I can do, because again, I, myself, am broke. Anyways, I'll talk to you fuckers later. And yeah, remember that Hello Kitty game I talked about at the start of the video? Yeah, that's a good game, alright? So go suck a dick!